Welcome back to CageSidePress.com. I am Gabriel Gonzalez, and I am here with Invicta's newest signee. She's done work on the regional scene in Southern California. Now she's going to be making her second professional fight in the All-Women's League. It is the killer, Juliana Miller. So, Juliana, I need to break the fourth wall before we even start with anything else. I have known you. When did I meet you? Was it before your first or your second amateur fight? Because I know it was one. It was very early. It was like right when you were really getting started.
I believe it was actually my third
Oh
amateur fight.
gosh, yeah. So I've known you for a
Weird.
minute before you got, to the pros and everything else. Let's talk about it. I mean, 2020 has been a crazy year for everybody, but you've made the big jump. You've had one pro fight, and now you're getting the call up. You're going to be part of Invicta. Just how would you sum up 2020 so far for yourself?
A roller coaster. I feel like everybody's been through the roller coaster, you know. As far as fighting goes, though, it's been about a year and a half. I had some broken bones. I had some dropouts. Obviously, Corona hit. I was actually signed with Bellator. And I just really took this time to grow myself both mentally, physically, spiritually, and also training hard, of course, but really finding my route in life and ways to help other people while leveling up myself, reading and writing. And I just think it's important, no matter what you're going through, life is always going to be crazy, but that you find happiness within yourself and your surroundings, because only you could change that.
I'm glad you bring that up because I think a lot of people thought, okay, I'll just put it bluntly, your connection with Ilima, who's your teammate, Bellator is known for signing these top prospects. Can you just talk about, I guess, is that still in the long game? Is it, on the back burner? What happened with Bellator that you're with Invicta for this one?
What had happened with Bellator is that they weren't planning on having fights until 2021, and I've been training nonstop, ready for a fight. Invicta offered us a fight. My managers reached out to Bellator and was like, "Hey, look, we're still interested with you guys, but we're still interested with you guys, but oh, where'd you go? Oh,
I'm
there you are.
here. No problem.
Can you see me?
I cannot right now.
Let me see. How do I? Oh, there we go."
There we go. We're good.
So basically, we reached out to Bellator and asked if it would be okay if we signed with Invicta, and they're like, "Yeah, of course." Technically, our agreement was broken. It was breached due to the date. We were supposed to fight May 29th, but we did let them know we're still interested. It's actually pretty crazy because after I had signed with Invicta for November 20th, 2 weeks ago, Bellator reached out like, "Hey, we've got a fight for her," but it was already too late. So I'm just going with the flow, seeing where life takes me. My dream is actually to end up in one championship. I
Oh.
love Asia. I love Japan, and I'm just trying to work my way back over there. So,
All right, so a couple technical issues, but you're talking about how you want to go to one eventually. You talked about the deal with Bellator. So let me try to think a bit like you're probably manager and then the promoters. I'm assuming that they called you because your buddy Ilima is fighting, and I can't imagine her not wanting you possibly on her undercard. Am I right about that?
I'm not sure as to whether she would want me on the same card or not. That wasn't spoken about, but definitely her connection with Bellator helped me a lot. Additionally, I always show up. Bellator knows me because I've been shadowing Alima for the past 4 years. I think part of the reason I've been able to escalate a little bit faster than some of the other athletes is I literally show up no matter where she fights, no matter when it is. I'm there, and I'm there the whole time. If she needs a weight cut, if she needs someone to hold a sweater, if she needs someone to take a picture for her, if she's going to run a hill, I sprint it with her, even if I'm not in camp, just so she doesn't have to do it alone. I think that proximity is a lot of times what helps you get places. And the fact that I'm just always there and I always show up, I kind of feel like that's why I got the reach out.
Okay, all right, I get it, I get it. So let's talk about this because you bring it up. You're 21, 22.
I'm actually 24,
24? What? Oh
almost
my
a quarter
gosh.
century now.
Oh my gosh, you were younger when I met you, so it's like, oh gosh, like I always remember you back then because to tell a story, I remember you were there. You had your teammate Tyler there, and both of you guys, you had that young, fresh-faced. You hadn't been in too many fights yet, Juliana, so I was like, oh my gosh, it was young. You guys are just starting out, so it's hard for me to think how long it's been since then. To talk about this, you'd work out of 10th Planet in San Diego. I know there's a lot of crossovers sometimes too with Alliance MMA down in SD also. But pretty much since you've been fighting, you've been around Ilima, Liz Carmouche, who's fought for the title in UFC, is in Bellator now, Pearl Gonzalez, who's done her thing in UFC, and Invicta. So I guess, when you've been around a group like that, specifically of women, because, not that the teams with the guys aren't a big deal also, but you've had people literally come through, be in your exact shoes to kind of mentor you. What have you taken the most from all of that as you become a pro?
There are two things. I think that the most important thing is where your mind's at and your intelligence level. That's one thing that I learned from Ilima mostly is she is so smart and she works so hard to make sure that her mind's in the right place and that she builds that confidence. I learned that if you don't believe in yourself, neither will anyone else. And when you get in the cage, that's going to show. And that's accustomed to a lot of people that train really, really hard, but don't end up making it or lose their fights. And like, I don't know why I lost. I did everything right, but they didn't necessarily do the mental work. So I learned the importance of, yeah, mental work is the number one. Number two, I always asked Ilima, I'm like, hey, what's the best advice you could give me in fighting? And she's like, don't get fat right after your camp so you could stay ready to fight. Um, and although that's a hard one to listen to, it is very important because it's like keeping your body healthy and in good shape to be prepared for war. It's just like I'm just happy that for the most part I'm always ready, and it's kind of helped me get a few more fights.
Quick side note, was Pearl Gonzalez training with you guys for this fight card also?
Yeah, so she was for the first month of her camp, and I personally am not going to go into detail. It's not my job, but she really missed home and decided she wanted to go home and train at her first gym in Chicago and be with her family, and so she did that, and unfortunately contracted corona while she was there.
Yeah, I asked for the point that it's like, well, like if Pearl Gonzalez was with you, obviously I'd be like, uh-oh, like, she's been in the gym, so she did not get it while she was with you guys, is my point.
Oh yeah, she got it 2 weeks later in Chicago.
Oh gosh, okay, well, definitely best wishes, send them along, but I did ask because did you have to possibly worry like, hey, I got to get tested a bunch to make sure I'm okay? So you were okay. That was not a worry
Yeah.
for you.
uh, By the time that she had talked about it, it was already 2 weeks later, and they found out because somebody that came into the gym ended up sending a message like, "Hey, I was there yesterday. Today I didn't feel good. I got tested, came up positive." So it was just the whole roundabout there.
Okay, over there though, that was my point. All right, so I got you. In terms of this fight card, it's gotten quite a bit of attention. They added Kayla Harrison obviously to the undercard. There's going to be quite a lot more attention and eyeballs on it. I mean, look, this is I'll just say it once again. This isn't those small fights in San Diego, in the amateurs. This is a big one, big card with a lot of attention. The fight pass aspect of it. I mean, can you describe the emotion to be on this stage now after having built up your career on the local level?
I hope this isn't offensive to anyone, but honestly, I do not care. I don't care who's watching. I don't care where I'm fighting. I'm here for war, and I'm here to release a killer side of me that I can't legally do at any other stage in life. When I fight with my partners, I can't actually throw down hard. I mean, you can, but I've never thrown an elbow as hard as I can because I don't want to hurt my partners, and there's just no need for it. So I just want to go out there and I want to go to war and I want to do my thing. And I could be on any stage. I could be on a dirt road in the chicken coop throwing down. I'm still going to do what I came to do. I'm very blessed, grateful, and excited to be on this major card, but that has nothing to do with where my mind is at.
I like that you brought that up. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but didn't you say something similar to Chuck Liddell because he fought on his undercard with Tito Ortiz?
Yeah, so Chuck Liddell was in my corner, and it was actually funny. I was leaving the doc's office where they weigh you in and do your thing, and he was walking in, and he looked at me, and on the way out, I shook his hand, and I was like, "Hey, I'm fighting on this card," and he's like, "What? I thought you were a ring girl." And we ended up running to each other a few times over the next few days, and before I went out, I was like, "Hey, I'm the first fight of the night," and he's like, "Are you nervous? Are you excited? Or what's going through your mind?" I was like, "I just want war. I'm just here to kill." And I let him know, I'm like, "Listen, um, obviously I had a pretty rocky past. So I was like, for me to be able to unleash a side of me that's normally not okay, I'm like, I'm just stoked I'm not gonna get arrested for beating someone up." And he just laughed and he's like, "Yeah, that's why I do this sport."
How was the Golden Boy MMA experience for you? Because that might be one of those like fight cards to history. You got to open the show. I mean, I'll be honest, on the media side, and I know from the spectator side, everyone had thoughts about it. How did you enjoy being a part of Golden Boy MMA?
I loved it. I thought it was the most incredible experience. Being able to walk into that stadium and seeing all the legends that have been there before me. I mean, Red Hot Chili Peppers, like the most insane from uh everywhere from like bands to fights, just like being in a room where legends had been was really awesome and incredible for me. Not to mention, they treated us amazing. They had food there for us. They gave us money for food while we were out. They took care of all the fighters. I was just pretty bummed because since I was the first fight, the cameraman wasn't there yet. So there's no video of my fight and there's no pictures from it. But I had a great time and I'm just grateful for the experience.
You got the W too, which is a big deal. That stays forever. That's like, yeah, I got the job done. Juliana, for fans who haven't met you and gotten to know you yet, how did you first get involved with mixed martial arts?
Well, I had some friends that kind of did martial arts. I actually met them in a club and I was like, man, that sounds cool. I would really love to try jujitsu. I did a few classes, then I ended up in a physical altercation and I wasn't able to protect myself. I got beat up pretty bad and I decided, I need to learn self defense. And everyone around me is like, you need to buy a gun, you need a knife, carry a knife with you. And I'm like, you guys, if someone attacks me and I have a gun or a knife, I'm going to kill them. I don't want to be a murderer. I don't want to hurt someone because they're under the influence. A lot of times things like this happen because people are drunk or not in their right mind. So I just decided, I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens to me again, I'm going to protect myself, get out of the situation. And I fell in love and decided that I wanted to teach other people that kind of confidence too, as well as like kids. Just like it's very important to be confident in yourself and have that self-defense aspect of it.
Of course, of course. Shifting gears, you're fighting Kendall Hollowell on the undercard. What have you seen? What tape have you gotten? And what do you think of her as an opponent?
Like I said earlier, it doesn't matter where I am and it doesn't matter who I'm fighting. I just don't care. I've literally watched maybe one video of her and we're both amateurs, so at this level, all of our game is going to be improving. Even if I did watch all of her videos, she's going to come in there with a whole different ferocity, just like I am. A lot of people think like, hey, all she knows is jujitsu, but you don't know what I've been training. You have no idea what I've been up to. Same with her. So I left that up to my coaches. They're going to tell me what to do. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to go in there and do my thing. I don't know really anything about her, nor do I care. Her face is about to be split open anyways, so I'd prefer not know.
Oh boy. Out of curiosity, do you dress up with Manolo for your weigh-ins, or is that just an Ilima thing?
That's an Ilima thing, but maybe in the future we might. Who
Okay.
knows?
All right. Gotcha. Gotcha. My final question. So you talked about it. Your goal is one championship. We know that Invicta has been the springboard to get fighters to Bellator and yes, the UFC. I mean, I'm assuming your dream scenario, you go put on a show, one championship calls you. How if UFC were to say, "Hey, we're looking for prospects, maybe contender series, maybe something else." I mean, how do you feel about that? That is a possibility.
I am an open book. I'm I am willing to go wherever is the best opportunity. The thing is I'm just gonna keep in contact with my coaches, with my mentors, and my little mastermind group I've kind of created here in San Diego. And I don't have any definite plans. All I know is I'm gonna be a multiple-time world champion. That could be with UFC, it could be with Bellator, it could be with one. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go where my heart takes me. I'm not going to have one concrete path because life never works that way. There's always a hurdle, there's always a rock. You're always going to trip and fall over something, and no matter where I end up, I'm just going to do the thing and have a good time doing it and put on a really rad show for you guys.
I mean, I don't think we have to add much more than that. Juliana, I say this from personal experience, just really, you've always brought it. It has been awesome to think that, you know what, I saw her doing a thing at the amateur level, and now she's getting the call up to the big show. I'm happy for you. You've always been consistent. You work hard. I've seen you, covering the fighters when I'm at the big show, so I know that your dedication and your heart and just your passion for this, I want to just speak from experience. She's got one fight, but she's been at this a while. She's been ready for it. So just congratulations on this call up and best of luck next week on your fight.
Thank you so much for the kind words. And one last little thing I want to say. I think it's really important that no matter who you are or where you are, that you use your voice. For me, I just want to be a voice of positivity and hope for other generations. If you've been hurt as a child, if you've been through abuse, if you've been through any kind of terrible situation, there is a way out. Not only is there a way out, but you can build yourself up to a level where you can help change the world. And that's all I want to do, is just be a kind person, have a lot of fun, and enjoy my life, and help a lot of other people on the way of doing so. So hopefully someone watching me gets a little bit of inspiration and is like, man, I'm gonna go chase my dreams. If I could do it, so could you, because I have a nickname called East County Princess. So there's a little ghetto in there, but yeah.
You know what? I think that's beautiful. Juliana, I am excited for it. I can't wait, and best of luck, okay?
Thank you. Have a great day.